Students, today we are going to discuss the new topic amplifiers. In the previous lectures, we have discussed BJT and MOSFET, DC biasing concepts. Right here, what is the main focus in the today lecture is BJT as an amplifier, common emitter configuration. This is a popular configuration. In most of the application, we will be using only the common emitter configuration. Reason already we have discussed in the previous class, right? The mathematical modeling which we are going to discuss today is the RE transistor model. This is one of the low frequency model which we will use to represent a transistor in the mathematical way. Okay, now let me start with the basic. Okay, so what do you mean by amplifier? Actually, here you know the BJT is working as an amplifier with the C configuration which we are going to see now. First, when you see the amplifier block diagram, you can see the source input and source output, that is represented by VA and V0. Here it is biased with the DC supply. It's the external DC biasing in order to select the desired quotient point, plus in order to get the desired energy conversion here. Okay, see your input should be like a, it will be very low actually in the input side. I want to increase the magnitude of the input signal in the output side, right? In the output signal, whatever you are receiving here, it should be it should be increased one, right? The increased one in the sense the output sinusoidal signal will be greater than the input sinusoidal signal, right? Otherwise, I can say your output AC power is greater than the input AC power. And if I want to say precisely, like a if I want to design the linear amplifier, suppose linear amplifier in the sense your input will be reproduced in your output, it will be directly proportional. Only the magnitude, only the amplitude will be increased. The signal will not be clipped or dropped in any point. Okay, if you take a nonlinear amplifier, if you take any nonlinear amplifier, the part of the signal will be clipped out. You can see here the negative part of the signal is clipped out. So I want to design only the linear amplifier, right? That means your output signal, the magnitude is larger. That is one thing. The second thing, it will be directly proportional to the input signal. The signal should not be disturbed. Only the magnitude to be raised. Okay, that is a basic condition when you are designing any amplifier. Okay, so I'll just show one amplifier circuit. It is a common emitter amplifier circuit. You can see. I'll explain you the basic important elements in the amplifier. C1, it is an input coupling capacitor to couple the input signal from the input terminal to the base terminal. And C2 is the output coupling capacitor to couple from the collector terminal to the output terminal, to the application terminal. When you see the C3, C3 is a bypass capacitor. So C1 is a coupling capacitor. C2 also coupling capacitor, but C2 is output coupling and C1 is a input coupling capacitor. And C3 is a bypass capacitor. Here, why we want to study the impact of capacitor? See, when you see the DC analysis and AC analysis, in the DC analysis, the capacitor will become open circuit because of the high impedance. We know that the reactance formula for capacitance is 1 divided by 2 pi fc. If you take like a DC, frequency is 0, so you will be getting 1 by 0, that is infinity. So impedance which offering in the DC analysis more for the capacitors. That means it will not allow the signal to pass through. So you will be considering only the open circuit, right, in the DC analysis. But in the AC analysis, signal will be considered as a short circuit. So like a, like if you want to say more precisely, it is changed depend on range of the frequency. Range in the sense low, mid and high. But I am not going to discuss those things. So you generally will take based on the generally you take your for AC analysis capacitor will become a short circuit. Okay, because of the low impedance offering when it is in the AC analysis. Okay, so that is a impact you want to study here. Then you can see you have a source resistance, then you have a source signal. Okay, that will be amplified here in the source output. Okay, so you want to see what is the voltage gain. Actually, what we will be deriving in our session is input impedance, output impedance and voltage gain. These are three parameters which will focus in your derivation point and problem finding. Okay, so now I'll give a small problem statement. Like your input frequency of a volt is 1 kilohertz. At 1 kilohertz, I want to find what is the capacitor value. Okay, you know that it is a bypass capacitor. It is connected to the ground. So when it is in the AC analysis, it will become short circuit. So there is a condition for effective bypassing. So that it should follow this for effective good bypassing. Xc should be less than zero point 0.1 times of R. So first what we will do, initially you know in AC analysis it will become short circuited. So I want to find what is the total resistance, that is RTH. To find the Thevenin resistance, I want to short circuit this VTH. So R1 and R2 will become parallel. You know that this is a rule we will follow. When you go for a current, if you have a current, it will become open circuit. When you have a voltage source, that will become short circuit. So you will be finding RTH. The value will be 375. You can see here. So like you want to substitute here, that is 0.1 into R, you will be getting 37.5. That is your capacitor reactance, right, at 1 kilohertz, right, that is 0.1 into 3375, you getting 37.5. So as per the good bypassing condition. So now I want to find the capacitor, that is 1 divided by 2 pi fxc. So I have substituted the frequency, then reactance. Here you know reactance I have taken as a resistance value, right, that is a 37.5 which you calculated. So your final capacitance value which you have calculated here is 4.2 microfarad, right. So like when you draw any AC analysis circuit, you want to follow this rule. First rule, you want to remove all the DC source in the circuit, in the given circuit. That is, all DC source considered to be 0 and connect those elements to the ground, other end. Then all capacitors, because we are doing an AC analysis, you know in AC analysis, all capacitors will become short circuit. Will become short circuit, right? So you want to like removing all element bypassed by the short circuit elements introduced by the step 1 and step 2. That is, you want to completely do the step 1 and step 2. The last step is I want to draw the mathematical modeling for the transistor. Here we are going to discuss RE transistor model. This is one of the low frequency model. Here I'll show you the step 1 and step 2 how to do it. Okay, so this is one circuit I have taken. So what is the step 1? I want to remove the DC. So I will remove the DC. I want to connect those elements to the ground. So this R1 will become parallel to the R2 because this is connected to this ground. So R1 and R2 will become parallel, you can see here, right? Then this capacitor all will become short circuited, when you short circuited here, you can see the RE was short circuited. That means the current will flow only through the low resistance path, so it will not flow through this RE. So the RE is useless to represent here, so no need to represent this RE, because during the AC analysis the current will take only the low resistance path, so capacitance only will offer the low resistance compared to this RE. Only in the DC analysis this RE will work. In the AC analysis this will be short circuited and here it is not represented. That is the reason. Then RC, it was removed, DC supply was removed, so RC will be connected to the ground, you can see. So input voltage VA and output voltage is your V0. Okay. Last step is I want to change this transistor to the mathematical modeling. Right. So now we will see how to change. Okay. So what you want to do is first consider the transistor. You can see the base, emitter and collector. Okay. So when you draw the input characteristics, so we will be drawing a IB versus VBE. Okay. So for drawing the model, let me draw like this. Okay, for more understanding. So N, P, N. Okay, that means your transistor can be represented by the two diode, that is a back-to-back diode. So that means like a negative, positive, again it will sharing, so positive and negative. So you can see here base, emitter and collector. You can see this is a forward bias and you can see this is a reverse bias, right? This is a very important to understand. Okay, so now you can see first IB versus VBE. So here we are seeing we are doing the AC analysis. So when you draw the characteristics IB versus VBE, you will be finding what is the changes of current with respect to the VBE. So that means you are going to find the slope. That means resistance, right? So 1 by slope is a resistance. Here we are studying the AC analysis, so we will be speaking about the AC resistance. So you know you have a like a three resistance. One is a DC resistance and AC resistance, and another is the average resistance, right? So as we have discussed about the small signal analysis, we will be speaking about only the AC resistance, right? It is the changes of IB, that is the changes of IB, and this will be changes of your VBE. Okay, clear now. But here can see here the current through this forward bias junction of the transistor is emitter current. Okay, for my clear understanding, I will be taking IE versus VBE. Okay, IE versus VBE. So I am repeating again, current through this forward bias junction, that is you have one diode. Okay, that is a forward bias diode. In the forward bias junction, it is represented with one diode. The current through this forward bias junction of the transistor is IE. So I want to observe what is the changes of IE with the VBE. Okay, so we will be finding what is the changes of IE with respect to the input voltage VBE. Okay, so the size of the emitter current, generally depends on the location of the Q point. Based on the Q point only, the size of the emitter current will be determined, right? So you can see the small AC input voltage across the emitter diode will produce emitter current. right? The small AC voltage across the emitter diode will produce a emitter current. Okay, so what you want to understand here is this complete base emitter junction is represented by one diode. That's it. That's the thing you want to understand. The current, that is the current through this forward bias junction of the transistor is IE. So that is represented here. So it is similar to the diode VA characteristics, right? So this IC current across this collector terminal is IC, it was represented. This is the step 1 to proceed the RE model. Not completed, still we need to move, do more. Okay, so input voltage is VBE and input current is IB, and the diode, it was represented for this base emitter junction. Okay, so now you can see the IC was represented by beta times of IB. Okay, see, you can see here in the common emitter configuration, in the approximated, actually the diagram for common emitter configuration will be like this: IC versus PC. Okay, so your representation will be something like this. Okay, you will be having some slope. This slope generally refers the resistance, right? That is a, this is a resistance, right? It will be representing the resistance. But here they are taken like a, approximately they are taken like a resistance as infinite, that is R naught resistance, output resistance they are taken as infinite. Okay, that is one part you want to understand. Okay, so the current which is producing here, that is a collector current, is nothing but a beta times of IB. It was represented in here. So beta IB is a dependent current source. Why it is a dependent current source? Because the output current is dependent on IB current. It's a dependent current source. The IC current depends on IB current. So that's why it is a dependent current source. So the second step is completed. In the first step, what we have done, we have replaced the base emitter junction with your diode. In the next step, we have changed the collector current with the dependent current source beta times of IB. Okay, so the next step what we want to do is we have R naught usually, but here they have taken the R naught as infinite. Okay, so infinity, but practically in a common emitter configuration we'll be having some resistance. Okay, there is a change of collector current with respect to the VCE after the early voltage. Okay, so there will be some resistance will be offered. So practically a real-time system, it will not be equal to infinity. So in the problem or derivation, you have to see whether the or not is asking to consider or not. Based on that, you can consider. Okay. Basically, the current will not flow through this resistor because the impedance is large. Okay, in most of the time, it will be represented by the open circuit. So that's why here also the R naught is not represented. But if you want to analyze more precisely, that is exactly, the R naught to be included with the finite amount of resistance, especially in the common emitter configuration. Because in common emitter configuration, you know it was, you have some slope. You will not have this flat end. Okay, it was approximated diagram actually. To justify this diagram, they have approximated. Okay, so step 2 is over. Now step 3, what I am going to do is, see, like you have a, I will draw the model whatever we have studied before, right? Like a base, you have a diode, here you have a dependent current source, okay. Now what I am going to do is I am going to replace this diode with some resistance value, that is RD. So already I said it was when you studying the AC analysis, the circuit here you will be having AC resistance in between that is the change of IE current with respect to the VBE. So that will provide the resistance, right? But they have taken the equation from the basic diode equation. Okay, so you can see the RD, like a RE will be taken as a 26 millivolt divided by IE. Actually, how it was obtained, I will be saying for you. See, they taken normal diode. Okay, the current across here is ID, right? So ID equal to I naught, saturation current, reverse saturation current, exponential of Vd by eta V of t minus 1. So eta factor will be 1 for germanium, for silicon it will be 2. So I am going to differentiate this ID with respect to the your Vd. So what you will be getting, so this is the saturation current. So when you differentiate this whole equation, what you will be getting, so that is changes of id by vd, so 1 by rd. So when you differentiate you will be getting I naught divided by eta times of vt into exponential of vd divided by eta v of t. You'll be getting this value. Now you know that from here the I naught evd divided by vt is nothing but id plus I naught. So I have written for this whole term, I have written id plus I naught divided by vt. So you know that this reverse saturation current is very small, something like a 10 to the power minus 12 amps or 10 to the power minus 14 amps. So compared to diode current, it will be very less. So I can approximate it to id by vt. See, now you got the final equation, that is a dynamic resistance. So dynamic resistance is a AC resistance which will be offered in the diode. So that is Vt by Id. So Vt is a thermal voltage. So you know it is a 26 millivolt divided by Id. So here I want to emphasize here, very important, the current through the base emitter junction, that is a forward bias junction of the transistor is IE. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this equation, that is 26 millivolt divided by ID. I'm going to rewrite in terms of emitter point, that is RE divided by 26 millivolt divided by your IE. That's it. That's it. So this diode I can replace by RE resistor. Now we will go to the third step. This is the final step. So you can see it was represented directly. I explained you how you got this RD equal to 26 millivolt by ID. Okay, so this RD, you know, already I said the current through the forward base junction is through the transistor is IE, this emitter point. So it was rewrite like RE equal to 26 millivolt divided by IE. So the diode was completely represented by the RE resistor. Okay, the last step, fourth step, what you want to do is, I want to find what is the resistance that is offering here. Okay, so very simple. To find, you want to apply the input impedance. You want to find input impedance. Zeta equal to input voltage. You know input voltage VA equal to VBE. So VA divided by your input current IB. You know that VA equal to VBE. So I have written VBE by IB. So VBE. So VBE is nothing but a IB into REE. IB into, sorry, VBE is nothing but your IE into RE. VB is nothing but a IE into RE. Right. So this is a product of current into resistance. Right. And what is IE? IE is nothing but a sum of your collector current and base current. So I have substituted IC plus IB into RE. Okay. So what is IC? IC is a beta times of IB. So I can take IB out. So beta plus 1 into IB into RE. So substitute in this equation. So VB you can substitute. So IB and IB will become cancel. So your zi, that is the input impedance, that is r, that is a resistance across here, will be beta plus 1 into re. So it is approximated into beta into re. So this whole part will be represented by beta re, that is the input impedance between the base emitter junction. So this is the final model. See, you have to do the four step. Step 1, what I have done, I have changed the base emitter junction to the diode. Second step, I have changed your collector current, that is a, I have written in terms of dependent current source beta times of IB. Third one, with respect to the AC resistance, right, the dynamic resistance, with respect to the diode current, diode equation, with RD with respect to the emitter terminal, it was redrawn as a RE. The fourth step, I want to go for the simplified, like a exact model, including all input impedance. The final step, you can see the base and emitter, the resistance is like a beta plus 1 into RE. So it was approximated like a beta RE. So IC current is nothing but a beta times of IB. This is a dependent current source because it is current, collector current is respect to the IB current. So this is a complete model for the common emitter transistor. Here I not included R0. I said clearly R0 can be included in the common emitter configuration because in the output diagram you can see you will not have a flat end, so you will be having some resistance, finite amount of resistance. So that how you want to add is based on the circuit which is given. Okay, because it based on the circuit, what is given, and you can incorporate those values. Okay, so this is a final model, complete final model, okay, with including all external resistance. Okay, so this is your mathematical modeling beta re. So exactly you'll be getting beta plus 1 into re. It was approximated to beta re, then dependent current source, then R0. Okay, for common emitter configuration, R0 is important to predict your analysis very correctly. But based on the question, whatever is given, so you have to incorporate this R0. Okay, so other than that, I have connected this external element, you can see. So whatever it is shaded, that everything is a transistor mathematical modeling. So mathematical modeling, not externally connected. So base, so this is the emitter and this is the collector. So base, collector, emitter. It's a complete mathematical modeling. Okay, so this is the external connector resistance. Okay.